You can cut down a tree with a hammer, but it takes about 30 days. If you trade the hammer for an axe, you can cut it down in about 30 minutes. The difference between 30 days and 30 minutes is skills. That's a quote by Jim Rohn, and that is a great quote and one that stood out to me this morning when I was looking for quotes on skill building. And skill building is what we are going to talk about today, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the All Around Growth podcast. This is episode number 110 of the show. My name is Rob Kaiser and I am your host. For those of you who are newer to the show, this is a show that gives you insight and tools to build the life and homestead of your dreams. Today is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. And like I said, the title of today's show is Skill Building. Why? Well, it's simple. Here's how this life works. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. This is coming in hot because while I can't necessarily quote the exact place in Scripture where this comes from, it is fresh on my mind this morning because, again, I listened to The Strangest Secret in the World this morning by Earl Nightingale while working out. I have made a point to listen to this while working out instead of music or something else. Yes, I am streaming Earl Nightingale into my ears. And I did an episode on this, actually. For those of you who don't know what The Strangest Secret in the World is, you can go back to episode number 49, and I talked about it in detail when I discovered it, because it's not a secret, but this thing that I'm talking about sometimes feels as though it actually is. And you can have it too, just like me. Check it out, episode number 49. We talk about the strangest secret in the world. But I asked for some feedback for some show topics. Andy chimed in, a bunch of people chimed in actually, and Andy asked me to dig into acquiring knowledge on the things that you know nothing about and how to filter out the crap, and also building a culture of learning versus education. And that's awesome. So thanks, Andy. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Steph. Everybody who chimed in with some thoughts and ideas about things. I sincerely appreciate it. So today, every day, I only have my personal experiences to share. And this may not sound like things that you want to hear about, but I promise you, stay tuned. You'll understand where I'm going with this, because I'm going to talk about skateboarding, marathons, data management, accounting, and podcasting. I'm all over the map. Hang in there. It'll make sense. I promise. And if it doesn't, this isn't the show for you. So knowledge is everywhere, right? And before I start getting into some of my notes, I just want to share some of these experiences that I have about the things that I just mentioned. So skateboarding, what's up with that? Well, 10 years ago, I moved out to California, and really what I wanted to do was surf, right? But I wear glasses and contacts, and surfing's kind of hard and weird, and I've never really been one for water sports because it's always been a pain in the ass with with my glasses and contacts and eyewear and stuff. So even rafting and shit like that when I was a kid, or in my 20s, I mean, I loved it, but it was difficult. So rather than get down with surfing, I decided that I would learn skateboarding because it seemed like a transferable skill and something that I could do once I moved back here to the Midwest, Northeast Ohio. Somehow, when I moved out there, I knew that I was coming back. I knew that I wasn't going to stay, but I did it anyways because I didn't want to get to a point in life where I found myself wondering, what if? Don't do that. So I connected with some people that had those skills and someone who was more along my peers, and then we connected with people that were younger than us, even more skilled than us, to teach us what they knew, and that's how you learn. I mean, we first gained some education on what it was that we were trying to do by watching YouTube videos and doing this, but what we did was we went out to events, connected with other people. Teach us, show us. That's what's up. Same thing with the marathon. I ran a marathon while I was out in California, and I was inspired to do so because, well, Dave Ramsey ran a marathon, and I thought to myself, if this chubby middle-aged dude can run a marathon, I can do it. So I started training. I found a running partner. I didn't need a training partner. I didn't need a training partner at all. But to stay motivated, I ran with my partner on the long runs, and we would run together on the weekends. We would keep each other motivated, and we would exchange information on the training programs that we were utilizing, and that was what's up. The same thing with data management. Now, I went to school for horticulture. I feel like I'm one of the few people that I know that actually works in the field that they went to school in. I don't seek to continue working in the field of horticulture for the rest of my life. I'm seeking to build the life of my dreams, the homestead of my dreams. I'm seeking to find and create work that is conducive to the life that I want to live. This is a new perspective to me. This is a new mindset. I'm having a shift in thinking. This train of thought comes from Dan Miller, 48 Days. Talked about him in the past, in past episodes. And in my past life, when I was climbing the corporate world to gain skills that would allow me to accelerate and advance my career, I learned how to manage data. I learned and taught myself how to effectively use Excel. There's a bunch of information out there. Again, a lot of things that we can use for education, but when it comes to actually learning, that's different. We'll get to that in a minute. And podcasting, the same thing. Lots of information, lots of ability to learn, but there's the podcast movement, and that was the best way that I could tell that would help me get a podcast off the ground, which is what I wanted to do because I feel compelled to share with you what I'm doing with my life, because there have been people that have shared with me what they've been doing with theirs. They are a true inspiration to me, and dare I say, I want to go so far as to be an inspiration to someone else. I don't know what it is that I've got to share, but I feel compelled to do it. And this is the result of that. So, like I was saying before, knowledge is everywhere. Everywhere. We are living in a day and age where we are surrounded by so much knowledge and so much information, it's ridiculous. But in order for us to access that which is going to be most beneficial for us we need to focus on tuning out certain things, or most things maybe, before we focus on tuning in. Okay? And when I was getting involved in skateboarding, and especially when I ran this marathon, the best thing that I did that allowed me to focus and hone in on what it was that I was working towards in order to achieve my goals was I got off social media. I got off of it. And I've done this twice. But Facebook was the predominant social media that was my time suck at that point. So I left. I just disabled the account and I left. Surprisingly, very few people asked what the hell happened. The ones that cared about me and were my friends reached out to me personally. And instead of interacting with people virtually through social media, I got involved in meetup groups with real people, humans, just like you. And we would do things in real life. It was kind of cool. And I would definitely encourage you to try this. Get the hell off social media. Disengage. Just do it for a little bit. See what happens. Man, you'll experience the withdrawal symptoms and the weirdness that goes along with it, but I promise you, it's not going anywhere. You can come back anytime you want. We're all junkies with this stuff. We gotta disengage, get off of it. Yeah, you'll get the shakes. Yeah, you'll feel uncomfortable. But the end result, should you actually accomplish the goals that you want and understand that this is helping you do so, you will understand and realize that it was probably one of the best things that you could have ever done, and you may find yourself wondering why you didn't do it before. Now, like I said, just try it. 30 days. Well, we're in Lent right now. For those of you who are of the religious bend, we are in Lent. Lent is 40 days. I am doing a type of Lenten fast myself. I'm not going to talk about that now. I'm going to encourage you to join the Telegram group, t.me/allaroundgrowth, if you are interested in what it is that I'm doing regarding fasting during the Lenten season and how I am looking at my Lenten fast as a way to grow and improve my skills, in addition to being mindful of the sacrifice that comes along with that. There's a lot of symbology and things representing one another that goes along with that. I'd love to talk about that with you in the Telegram group. I'm not going to do that now. But let's just think about that. Get off social media. Focus on your goals. You deserve it. You owe it to yourself. Now, how do we filter out the crap? That is one way to do it. Another way to filter out the crap is to surround yourself with people doing the thing that you want to do. Now, I did this in the past, and it largely revolved around Permaculture Voices conferences, acres, food conferences, a number of conferences that I went to, blowing money and living vicariously through other people, and then trying to live their dream in my life. And you can do that, and you can mimic them, but before you surround yourself with the people doing the things that you want to do, make sure that those things are actually appropriate for the context in your life. Everybody, well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people out there, a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool things, but they are not for everyone. For me, I am not a landowner. And the land where I live right now there's some uncertainty there in the long term. And it's a little bit difficult to I'm restructuring my original plans. So again, after learning and obtaining more information about my current situation, and also reframing my perspective on the current situation and not taking some of the things for granted that I believe I once did. I am having and gaining a better understanding on the context of my life and the manner in which I can apply the things that I am learning from other people. So it's not so much that I'm going to mimic them, but I'm going to do that, but in a way that is most consistent with the context of my life. So yeah, you surround yourself with people that are doing the thing that you want to do. You determine what worked best for them and you mimic them. Open yourself up. Be vulnerable. And ask them to be your mentor. Expose yourself to some tough love. And this, my friends, I think may be the key in building a culture of learning versus one of education. Okay, so what do I mean by that? In conclusion, as I get in here at the church to sign checks this morning, I'm going to try and wrap this up. But real quick, if we look up the definition of learn and educate, all right, we can see that the word learn means to gain knowledge or understanding of or skill in by study, instruction, or experience. Memorize, to come to be able, to come to realize. Education has a much shorter and brief definition, which is to provide schooling for. Now, our society, in my humble opinion, is a culture of education. You and I are creating a culture of learning. Understand the difference. Education versus learning. Too many people get wrapped up in the benefits, big air quotes, benefits of education. The importance of education. When we really ought to understand and embrace the benefits of learning. And that comes with the application of the education, which is something that we do not do enough of in the reality that we find ourselves in. So what do? Create a new reality. Start today. Expose yourself to tough love from mentors in your life. Set difficult and challenging goals. Hold yourself accountable and find people that can do the same for you. Find people that will help hold you accountable as well. You owe it to yourself. And finally, in conclusion, one quote. I actually made this the cover photo on my own Facebook profile because I found this quote to be so profound. And it's a quote by Langston Hughes. And it goes as follows. I have discovered in life that there are ways of getting almost anywhere you want to go, if you really want to go. And this is why in the very beginning, I said that sometimes in order for us to effectively tune in to the knowledge and education that we need in order to learn and build the skills that we want to develop to obtain the goals that we wish to obtain in life, we need to focus on tuning out before we tune in. We got to get rid of some of the information in life because, quite frankly, there's an abundance of it. And it's oftentimes overwhelming. And once we begin tuning out, we can understand and think about what it is and where it is that we want to go. And also understand and think, do we really want to go there? And if we do, what's stopping us? So hopefully this show was of value to you. And if you think it was, spread the word. Share it with a friend. Go to the show. Rate it. Review it on your podcast player. It's most appreciated. In the show notes, there's links to the episodes that I referenced in the podcast. There's also links to all of the episodes in the past in the show notes right there for you. If you have any questions or any feedback for you, I would encourage you to join the Telegram community, t.me/allaroundgrowth on your browser. Or if you just want to send me a message directly, feedback for the show, questions, anything like that, send it my way, allaroundgrowth@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And for those of you who are actively participating in the show, in the audience, thank you. All of your participation validates what it is that I'm doing, and I am very grateful. This is Rob Kaiser, and thank you.